Welcome back, everyone, to the Fever. And normally when a team loses a game by 38 points, it wouldn't draw much recognition. But when you see the things that Lubbock High receiver Jabri Gibson did against Midland High, it's hard to ignore. Here's George with more.
Okay, thanks, Travis. We're here with City Player of the Week and AJ Player of the Week, Jabri Gibson. Jabri with a big night on Friday night at Midland. Even though the Westerners lost, still had a big night, 230 yards and a touchdown on just 7 catches. Jabri, talk about the night. It just seemed like you were catching, and making a lot of big plays out there for you guys.
It was a good night for the whole team. We got the passing game going this week, and I was just feeling it.
Was it something in the game plan? I mean, did you guys feel like you could exploit some things in the passing game against Midland?
Yeah, we knew we could throw the ball because they only had one free safety in the middle of the field. So we made them change it up in the second half. They came out and played some tough defense.
Talk about it worked for a while. You get there, you're up 18-14, but then it seemed like they hit some big plays. I mean, did you feel like the confidence swayed any for you guys there second quarter when they kind of started pulling away a little bit?
Yeah, it swayed after they stripped the ball. Ran for about 70 yards and scored. Then it just went downhill from there.
But I'm sure, though, the way you guys played, and especially the numbers you guys put up offensively, you got to kind of, gain some confidence to go into the bye week with.
Yeah, I think we're going to come out pretty tough these next couple of games. We should get some wins.
What kind of things do you guys feel like, the next couple of weeks are you guys going to work on, getting ready because you got Coronado coming up in a couple of weeks?
Have to work on our defense, and our defensive line really has to work hard this week.
You feel like you're finally starting to get into a role, to be a playmaker role for this offense? Talk about what it took to get there.
Just hard work, just catching the ball, working hard every day.
And you guys, obviously, the games are getting short, or the times are getting short. How crucial, or how much intensity or sense of panic maybe is there on the team, to kind of start turning things around a little bit?
It's a lot, especially for the seniors, because it's our last year. We want to get in the playoffs this year. It's been a long time for Lubbock High. So.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, if they keep making the plays like they've been making and Jabri keeps catching some big balls like he has, it won't be long before the Westerners are finding themselves in the win column this year. Travis, back to you.
All right, George, we talked a little bit about Lubbock High's offense moving in the right direction. Gibson, a big part of that.
Yeah, obviously, was watching a little tape before, I talked to Jabri, the Coach Speck gave me and showed how they did a stop and go on the first play for like 60, 70 yards, with Jabri, and then he caught another pass down to the one. It was kind of T.O. He had to reach behind him a little bit and tip him to himself, and the defender's hand, was right there. So it was a great athletic play by Jabri, and he just kind of continued it on through the rest of the game. And, to me, that's not surprising because, I've seen Jabri Gibson since he was a sophomore. He started on the Lubbock High basketball team. Just an outstanding talent, outstanding receiver, and well-deserved. Like we said, even though they lost this week, just a great effort by Jabri this weekend.
All right, a couple other noticeable players from around the area. Monty Anderson over at Big Spring, getting a big game on the ground, winning a tight game, 18-6 over Andrews.
Yeah, one of the things, in talking with Brad Davis, before the season and some of the other teams in that district, was they were very complimentary of how well they thought Big Spring had improved this year, and Monty Anderson is a big part of that. He's been running for them for about a year or two now, has put up some big numbers, and it looks like, the Steers are going to be one of those teams. When you talk about that district, you're talking about Friendship, you're talking about Cooper, you're talking about Big Spring. Looks like Lakeview is very much improved, and you've got high-powered Hereford, and then, don't even count out Plainview. They're showing some signs of kind of getting back toward the top a little bit. So, that's going to be a very interesting district when they start here in a couple weeks.
All right, going back to 2A now. And some guys that know a little bit about gaining some offense on the ground is the Idalou offensive line. Talking to Coach Taylor, he mentioned, this is the group of guys that need to be credited with the success of Sean Reagan and Tanner Cook. Reagan has yet to be sacked. Tanner Cook now over 500 yards and 6 touchdowns on the season. Yeah,
it's kind of like Coach Davis, has told me before. A lot of times, the guys up front are the guys that do all the work, but it's the guys in the backfield or whatever that get the glory. And so it very much so the same thing with Idalou. Those guys are just, they line up in the two tights and the one back and they pretty much go at you and they'll tell you where they're going to go. So we're going to go right here. Meet us in the hole, stop us if you can. A lot of times teams can't, and that's a credit to that offensive line and the work they do, not only during the season but in the off season as well.
All right, when we come back, George will visit with Friendship head coach Brad Davis and talk a little bit more about how the Tigers are going to improve on that 4-0 record when they head to Hobbs, New Mexico this weekend right here in the Fever.